Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm doing Levi's 4-month update. Woo! It's so weird to think that he's 4 months because I feel like he's been in my life for like 10 years. So it's kind of weird, but I am glad that he is here and he's 4 months. He's learning so many new things and starting to really be able to interact and play. And I know Oscar loves that he's being able to play, which I'll get into later, but you know, Oscar, it's hard for dads, I think, to like want to play with a newborn because what can a newborn do, you know? So I think it really helps when he can like interact with him, I guess is where I'm going with this. So to start off, we'll start with feeding, I guess. He eats 4 to 6 ounces, sometimes 7, every 3 to 4 hours. So he's getting to the age now where he's eating more, not necessarily less amount of times a day. He still kind of eats at that 3-hour to 4-hour mark, but he eats a lot, like 7 ounces sometimes. Yesterday I even think he had 8, but that was only once, so I'm assuming he just got really hungry. He still is on the Similac sensitive formula in the day, and then I breastfeed him usually before bed and then in the morning, and if I don't feed him before bed, I'll feed him 2 times in the morning. So I still am breastfeeding. He probably has like, I don't know, like 14 ounces of breast milk a day if I could guess. As far as sleeping goes, he sleeps through the night, like completely. Sometimes, like for instance last night, he did wake up about 1 time and it was at like 6 in the morning, but he goes to bed at 8. So that's still like 9 hours, 10 hours of sleep, but most of the time he will sleep from 8 o'clock until 8:30 straight through, which is crazy insane to me. And even when he does get up, he doesn't demand food right away. He'll usually take his first nap before he wants any foods. And I've been really good about getting him on a routine, and it makes such a difference. So I do plan on doing a routine video, like how I get him to take his naps and stuff like that, just so you guys can kind of get an idea or help out with your kids. He has been starting to sleep in his room. 2 nights ago, he slept in his room all through the night, all by himself, in his own room. Like, I can't even believe that. It's so weird. I wasn't comfortable with it at first. Now it's just like, I need to teach him that, you know, so he can do it on his own and not have to be 9 months old and be like, no, you know, I've been sleeping in your bed for 9 months. It was a hard adjustment. It still kind of is, but I am happy that we're doing it. Sometimes I'll bring him in here with me in the middle of the night or whatever, but I think falling asleep in his crib is the most important. So that way when it does come time for him to be in his room and be asleep throughout the whole night for multiple days at a time, he will be used to being in his crib and falling asleep in there. He naps every 2 hours for about 1 hour to 1.5 hours, sometimes 2 hours, hardly ever. He naps pretty often, and I think that's why he sleeps for a shorter amount of time. As far as sizing goes, he wears 3 to 6 month clothing or 6 month clothing. You know, different brands are kind of off in size. 3 to 6 month clothing for the majority, but I guarantee he'll be 6 month to 6 to 9 month clothing very, very soon. He's really growing. I feel like 2 days ago he really just had this growth spurt. Like, he really just looks a lot bigger now. And he also moved up to size 2 diapers, which I've watched a lot of other updates, and people seem to have their 3-month-old in size 2 diapers, but I think just because he was preemie, you know, he does things a little differently, which is okay. I'm sorry if I keep looking over. It's because I have my notes on my bed, which is right in front of me, so I'm sorry if that's bothering you, but I can't really remember all these things off the top of my head. In the past, when I've tried to remember, I end up having to refilm like 10 times. So some of the concerns we've had in the past that I've mentioned in other updates is reflux, colic, his flat spots and poop, and his reflux is pretty much completely gone from what I can tell. Usually he'll get a little bit of phlegm, but nothing that makes him like vomit anymore, like projectile vomit. He doesn't do that anymore, and he spits up, but I would say a normal amount. His flat spots on his head seem to be going away. We have a doctor's appointment on the 26th, so we'll see if they're completely gone, but to me they look pretty much gone. He definitely doesn't have colic because for these past like 5 days he has been quiet as a mouse as long as he's fed. So I was wrong about that, but you know, first time on, you gotta learn these things. And he poops every 5 days. Now at first I was really worried about this, and I would, you know, kind of help him out, and I do sometimes help him out if he looks uncomfortable, like I will, but I don't do it that often just because I don't want to get him in the habit of not doing it on his own. And I actually looked it up, and it's pretty normal for a 4-month-old, 3-month-old to poop every 5 to 6 days. So when I looked that up, I felt a lot more comforted, and I think that you just assume without researching that that's not okay, because when they're born they poop so often, you know, that you're like, oh my gosh, all of a sudden they don't poop for 5 days, what's wrong? So definitely if you have a question, even though the internet isn't always right, it does help a lot. They have so many good mommy blogs, mommy pages, like there's so much out there that can help. Some fun facts is that he rolled over, I don't know if you guys watch our daily vlog channel, but he finally rolled over from tummy to back. He hasn't quite got the back to tummy yet, which is okay. That takes a little bit more strength, and I understand that. But belly to back, and I'm so excited about it. He gets a little scared because he'll like, you know, get on his back and then be like, whoa, because it happens very quickly. So he'll get a little scared, but he still does it, and I've been trying to keep encouraging him to do it every day so he doesn't like forget. I don't know that he could even forget, but just so that he can, you know, keep learning and stuff. You could tell the first time that he did it, he was like very excited, like, yay, I did it. He laughs hysterically. I know in the last 2 updates I've mentioned how he giggles, but he laughs now. Like, he laughs really hard. If you guys follow me on Instagram, there's a clip of him just like cracking up at me saying Hannah Montana. So I love that. Again, it makes it more fun to interact with him. He uses his jumperoo. I do have to put a blanket behind him and a pillow under him, but at least he's to the stage where he can hold his head up and he can press on the piano and it will like make noises. So I think he really enjoys that. And yesterday, for the first time, he grabbed onto a toy. Given I had to set it on his chest for him to grab it. Look at him in his tongue. I had to set it on his chest for him to grab it, but he did grab onto it with his hands and then he lifted it in the air. So I was so excited because, you know, it's the little things when you have a baby. So he really is learning a lot of new things lately, and it's really nice. I'm trying to encourage him. I know babies learn at their own pace. I really believe that, but I do try and encourage him to, you know, sit up. I'll help him sit up. Or like when I go like this, he still stays pretty, I mean, I'm holding his hands, of course, but he stays pretty centered and his head's a little bobbly, but nothing that is like, you know, when they're born, when their head's flying everywhere. So I would say that this month is the month that he's grown the most. So if your baby has turned 3 months, it's probably gonna be an exciting month. I don't know if it's all babies, but it seems to be like all my friends that have, you know, 3 and 4 month olds, this is when they're going through their growth spurts and learning the most. I know there's so much more to come and I'm so excited, and I can't wait for you guys to see too, because I get so excited and it's nice to have other people that are like excited with. So I hope that I covered everything, but I wrote down notes, so I'm pretty sure I did, and we'll see you in our next video. Bye! Look at that tummy, look at that tummy, look at that tummy.